Hey guys, welcome back to the Esther channel, and today I am going to be sharing how to get rich. Now, one of my main New Year's goals this year was making money. It's still January, obviously I'm still in that goal, but I have been learning rigorously how to make money. I'm talking every day. The moment I wake up, I'm on YouTube. I'm looking up how to get rich, how to be a millionaire, how to be a rich girl, because that's what I want for myself. I want to be a rich girl. And obviously, still growing. We're still only 1 month into this. I've already pretty much figured out the formula, but I'm going to show you guys everything I've learned because I watched hundreds of videos. I'm talking every morning, during every meal, on the way to school, everywhere I go, at night before bed, all day. I'm watching videos, reading articles, watching TikToks, listening to podcasts from rich, wealthy, successful people, understanding their formula, how they did it, what mindset changes, what environmental changes, what jobs. And I've pretty much cracked the code, so I'm here to share it with you guys today so I can save you a lot of time and a lot of learning. So bring out your notes because things are about to get real, okay? Let's go. So I just got this little mic and I love it. Like, this is so fun. I'm hoping it works. Otherwise, this entire video is just for no reason. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing is strategy over size. Sometimes people think having the biggest platform, the most followers, the biggest job, they think that that is what is going to make them rich. No. What's actually going to make you rich is strategy. You can have almost no followers, but if you have a strategy in place, like what you're going to be selling to people, what kind of information are you going to be giving to people, that is way more valuable than having 100,000 followers and having no strategy, no content that actually makes you money. Now, one thing I've seen is kind of taking yourself out of the equation. Now, what does this mean? Some of you may have heard of an alter ego. An alter ego is essentially like a version of yourself that's different from the version you are right now. A lot of celebrities do this, like Beyonce. She's got her little Sasha Fierce. Tate McRae. She's got Tatiana. This is a confident, bad bleep, rich girl version of themselves that they inhibit the energy of when it matters. So if you feel insecure, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're like, I can't do this, you need to have your own little alter ego that you can be like, wait a second, I'm going to channel her and she's the one that's going to get this done. Take the phrase, if I just blank, I'll be blank out of your vocab. What does that mean? You will never be happy reaching a certain goal. If I just get 10K followers, I'll be so happy. No, because you'll get to 10K and then you'll be like, okay, 20K and I'll be happy. 30K and I'll be happy. No, there is no when I blank, I'll be blank. No, right now. You will still be happy without feeling desperate. Be delusional. You cannot sit here and be like, oh, I'm never going to get there. I don't know how. I don't have the skills. No, you need to be crazy. You need to be like, I don't care how I'll do this. I will do this and I will win. Even if it doesn't work out, at least you were delusional about it. Football players don't go into a game thinking, oh, all this practice was for nothing. I'm going to not do good and I got paid millions of dollars for no reason. No. Football players, NFL football players, do not do that. They go into a game thinking, I am the best of the best. I get paid this much for a reason. I am going to win. And do they always win? No. But that mindset is what got them there. You need to have skills. Okay, you can just find some guy that's rich and marry him. You can do that. Or you can master yourself and have your own money. And to do that, you need skills. This part's actually really easy, teaching yourself skills. Some skills that are essential to be rich: sales, finance / money understanding, communication, leadership, perseverance. These are all important skills that you need to have. Just look up sales skills, finance skills, communication skills. Learn through YouTube. That's what I've always done. I've always done that, and it works. That's why I'm here right now. Now, if you want to be rich, there is about 2 ways to do this. Now, there is obviously more ways, but these are like the 2 main ways that really helps you kind of narrow your path. Have a business / a product. You build this business, you build this product. That's one way. You see a lot of people do that. They're CEOs, they have their own business, they have their own product. Or you can get hired on to an already very big company, very big product where they pay you a lot. Now, that one's a little bit different, so I'm going to focus more on just the first one right now. So you're thinking, how do I start this? Let me start you with this phrase. The value of the problem you solve is equal to the value you'll be paid. Small problems is small income. Big problems is big income. Example, a librarian who helps you find books. That is a small problem. They get paid a small amount of money. A surgeon who literally saves lives, that is a huge, big problem they're solving. So they get paid a lot of money for that problem. But there's a lot of ways that you can build skills that help you solve big problems. Become an accountant for a very wealthy person. They're a wealthy person. They don't want to deal with their money. They pay you to solve their big problem, all their money, and they pay you well to do it. That's the example of working for someone else. But if you want to have your own product, then you need to have a big problem that you are solving for someone. And this is where the phrase imitate, then innovate comes in. So unless you have an idea of a product you want to create from scratch, which is great, because that's how you'll get the riches probably, is just coming up with like a whole new product. But if you cannot for your life think of a product to create, then think of a product that already exists and then think, how can I make this better? That is the mindset you need to have. Take something that already exists and make it so much better. You need to stop spending money on stupid. Okay? You need to be investing in yourself. I have been putting all of my money recently into online courses that teach me certain skills. You take classes, you pay to learn things, but that thing that you're learning, that is value. You are adding value to yourself. The more valuable you are, the more you will be paid. Period. Work constantly. Anyone who tells you that this isn't going to be hard work is lying to you, okay? Unless you win the lottery, which you can, I'm not going to say you can't, it is hard work. Would you rather work hard, really, really hard, and make no money because you're working for corporate America? Or do you want to work really, really hard and make a ton of money because you are doing it your own way? So hard work for me doesn't even factor in because you're going to have to work hard anyway. Life is hard anyway. It might as well choose your hard. I've seen that on TikTok. Choose your hard. It's hard to go to the gym and work out and get your dream body, but it's also hard to hate the way you look, feel insecure in clothes. Which hard would you rather have? Do not settle for anything but excellent. You can't be doing something and you're like, okay, this is good, I'll send it. Now, I'm not saying perfectionism because there's no such thing as perfect. There's a difference between perfection and excellence. Excellence is the highest state you can get to being perfect without it being perfect, because nothing's going to be perfect. But you want excellence. Let's say you're trying to learn 10 skills. If you put 10% of your energy in each skill, is that going to help? No, because you don't actually learn enough. You don't actually process enough. Put 100% of your energy into one thing at a time. Like for me, I will only learn one skill at a time, and I will do it until I get to excellence. Because if you try to do a bunch of things at once and just sprinkle a little bit of your energy into a bunch of things, No, nothing is going to get to 100. You're just going to be average across the board, which is not what we're shooting for. But if you have people around you who don't believe in you, who are always putting you down, who make you feel like crap, who are giving you limiting beliefs, you have to get them out. I had a friend who was so miserable and negative, and she would always bring me down. She'd always be like making fun of the things I do. And to her, maybe it was like a little joke or something, but that miserable, negative, unhappy energy is not going to get you anywhere. And you may think, oh, well, I'll just tune them out. It doesn't work, okay? Your brain still takes in what they're saying. You need to get rid of as many of that as possible. If you have friends who are not uplifting you, if they're not bringing you up, then they're bringing you down, which means they need to be gone, okay? Gone. But information will not work without implementation. Implementation is the key to being successful, because you can watch a million YouTube videos, you can listen to a million podcasts, but if you never actually put in the work, if you never actually try to do the things that these people are telling you to do, you are never going to get anywhere, okay? Ever. Because you're not doing anything. You're just staying the same. You cannot stay the same and expect different results. You cannot do the same thing you've always done and expect something different. If you want a different life, if you want a different outcome, then you have to act differently, okay? Point blank, period. People pay for transformation, not content. Think about that. Do you think people buy a book usually just because it looks nice? No. Most of the time when people buy a book, it's because they expect the book to benefit them in some way. Maybe it's a self-help book. They're imagining it's going to transform them into a better version of themselves. They're buying it because they imagine it is going to transform them in some way. You have to think, how can this transform someone into something that they are not right now, in something that they cannot be without this product? You need to have a goal in mind. Understand what you want. Do you just want money, or do you want something deeper than that? What do you want the money for? That is so important. What do you want the money for? Do you want the money just so you can get a nice car? Do you want the money just so you can get a nice house? Do you want the money because you want to retire your parents? Do you want the money because you want to be financially stable? Why? You need to know your why, because if you don't know your why, you're going to hit a point in the road where things are getting really hard and you want to give up. If you have no why, then it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to just go back to the way things were. But if you have a why, if you have a destination that you are shooting for, it is easier for you to keep going and get to the place where you need to be. If someone else can do it, then why can't you? Oh, well, they were born into money. They had rich parents. There are plenty of people who aren't born into money, who didn't have rich parents, who built themselves up from the ground up, from the bottom up. If they can do it, so can you. Yes, there's people who just had things handed to them. That's great. That's not you. So you need to do it in your own way. You need to do it in a way that works for you, okay? Don't buy luxury things right away. Of course, treat yourself. You know, if you want to get like a luxury purse, that's great. Like, I want a Louis Vuitton purse. That's always been my dream. And I plan on buying one pretty soon, but I want to wait until I have more money than I would ever need for the purse. This is a game, okay? You have plenty of time, but how you spend that time is important. Act strategically. Act as if this is a game, and that your decisions, your actions in the game will implement your outcome. You don't win a video game by being crap, by not putting in any effort into the game, by not making good choices. That is how you lose. And you need to have that same mindset when you're going into life, okay? It is a game. View it as a game. So some of the people I listened to get this information, I'm going to share them with you. So the number one was Afnan Khalifa. She is a self-made female billionaire who was an immigrant from Dubai. She came over to Canada and she learned how to become a millionaire. The next one, the Wizard Liz. Very famous self-made millionaire in this type of genre where she makes content like this to teach people how to do it. Shelby Saps. Some people, not a big fan of her. I personally love her. I love her content. I love her energy. I've gotten a ton of information from her as well. These are the 3 main women that I've listened to, that I've gotten these tips from, that I've shared with you today. If anything I've said is not clear or you want more information about it, go check out their shows, their channels, their socials. So I'm going to be implementing all these tips myself throughout the year, and we're going to see how far that takes me. So I'm going to document my journey with you guys. I'm very excited. If this was helpful, and comment down below your favorite tip from this video, and I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully I'll be richer by then. Bye.